everybody, and welcome to Nerdsplaining Podcast, Special Edition. I'm your host, Eric Da Silva, ta-da-na-na, and your co-host, as always, Jose Romero.
Greetings, salutations, nerds around the world. And you're right, it's a very special and early edition. Anomaly here for Nerdsplaining. We don't do it this early in the week, but as we all know, Superman, as per your host's shirt over there. There you go.
And by the way, I gotta say, I'm so tone deaf. I try to do the bum bum and I was like, wait, that actually is Danny Elfman Batman, and I can't even sing the right song.
Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
Dun, dun. Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
Too late,
for
but I had to jump in there. Yeah, so it came out. I got your chance to see it yesterday. We said we were going to do a quick show to kind of do a non-spoiler review.
Non-spoiler.
Eric, I'm sure we got some questions and we dance around some stuff. And yeah, listen, the reviews are obviously, I'm sure you've seen the reviews. I was curious. Very positive for the most part.
Yeah,
I think from the critic side, right?
Yeah, that gets exciting.
Yeah, it's good. Not that matters. Again, we'll see how box office. I'm kind of curious how much money this movie makes. I really do. Because all superhero movies have not been doing as well as a collective.
Right.
As a collective, despite quality. Quality is almost irrelevant. It's just, Jurassic Park sucked, and everybody's watching Jurassic Park, right?
Right.
So
everything looks pretty, so now that's not even an issue of contention anymore. It's story.
Right. Yeah, is there fatigue and all that? We can talk about that after. I'm kind of curious what this and Fantastic Four does, but nonetheless, I do one little nugget, since this will be the show for the week before we get into Superman, right? I saw a story, and this is interesting. And a couple of people had it. I don't know how accurate this is or how true it is. Whatever, take it for what it's worth. In relation to Marvel, that I guess they are still working on the ending and they're having some issues putting the ending together for Avengers Doomsday.
I've heard of that.
I've heard it. Yeah, I don't know how. I don't know. But it's been going on.
I'll tell you what. If you remember Endgame and Infinity War, the original ending to Infinity War ended up becoming the beginning to Endgame. And they were trying to. So I think what happens is it's not an issue of they don't know what the ending is. It's what kind of like tone is going to best end cap the third act. Because I'm sure what's happening is like we could have this thing here or we can have this thing there. And where is it going to work best? And if we're going to do this, then we got so that they make these changes, which has always been like the what in the heyday used to be the awesome part about Marvel. Is like we're just going to do this on the fly and make it liquid and see what happens. But as you have more and more continuity and canon stuff you got to work with, it's actually better to kind of narrow down what you're doing.
Correct. So, it's a big film and it's filming, and it's weird to start a movie without an ending, if this is indeed true. And it's a little concerning. You have to know where you're going. Otherwise, you're just filming stuff, and what are we doing? For whatever it's worth, listen, it may not mean anything at all, or this could be a disaster. I don't know, but I was kind of curious that came up. It's not,
I got to say, you keep leaning on the word disaster. I don't know if it's going to be a disaster. I think it's just them trying to figure out what story beat they want to finalize on. Because it's like, we got 6, we got to get 2.
Every movie is a potential to be a disaster, to be
true. Fair.
Every movie has a potential to be great.
Movies are like driving the expressway. It can go wrong at any given moment.
That's what I'm saying, right? One right, wrong turn. You look at your phone and all hell break.
It's Final Destination all over again.
Anybody. But let's focus on the movie that is finished, that had an ending, that's getting a lot of positive feedback, despite a lot of negativity throughout the last year. Has been getting, this movie's been all over the place, right? Fans are crazy, whatever. And I did text you yesterday my thoughts on it very briefly, but I'll say is, listen, I really liked the movie a lot. I did. I liked it.
I will say,
oh, go ahead.
Being you, the fact that you liked it a lot is a big hurdle because you don't like a lot of things a lot, but when you do, there's reason for it.
No, it's I think, and this is my only concern. I'd rather have come out hating this movie and this movie make $2 billion than loving it and this movie making $500-600 million. So I am concerned because I did talk to a lot of people, and I'll get to that in a second. But for you, you're gonna, I think, adore this film.
That is exciting to
I
hear.
think the pure nerds and seeing some things online, they love it. I mean, and it's a concern for me because James Gunn should be making a movie to cater to the nerds, and that's my concern.
Okay, so you say nerd. I've heard it explained another way, which
Like
is
Die
there's a
Hard,
not lighthearted.
Superman.
No, no, not
No, Die
lighthearted.
Hard. No,
Oh,
Die Hard, Die Hard, Die
Die
Hard.
Hard. Yeah, but not even Die Hard. There is a genuine sense of hope and joy that these days some people may have a hard time wrapping their brain around. And so
No.
that's what I've heard.
I think that would be refreshing. I think to the general audience. What I'm getting,
I agree.
it's
I agree.
very, it's a lot of interesting characters. There's no introduction to these guys, and you're placed in the world where the only one who really knows what's going on is those who are familiar with the lore of Superman and would
Sure.
appreciate it
Okay.
and love it for that reason. Because James Gunn is a nerd.
Sure.
But those are some of the concerns that I talked to a lot of people yesterday. I talked to a bunch of nerds specifically. I chose them out before, and then some casual fans. A lot of concern was there was a lot of confusion, a lot of just misunderstanding what was going on, and the nerds were flipping about it. But then, listen, it's because it's a comic book come to life.
Sure.
That's not a reason why a movie's good. And I hate when people review a movie and say, "Oh,
Right.
it's
Right.
exactly
Right.
what I want." All these nerds are
Right.
coming out, and it skews what's going on. Right? It's just you may
I,
appreciate it, but the reason it's not good or bad because it looks like a comic book, it feels like a comic book, and has these
right.
references to comic book. And not saying you would do that, but a lot of nerds are saying that's why
Yeah,
it's a good movie, right?
that's not a defensive posture. It's not a validation. It's an aesthetic choice. Like that's really what it comes down to.
Correct.
And I will say, the way Eric Voss from the New Rockstars put out a video
Okay.
today, a non-spoiler, just like we're doing right now,
Mm-hmm.
and he said something that the more I hear from other people, kind of feels like what the general audience is going to feel like. Because like this movie feels like it's a sequel to a first part we never saw.
100%.
And I kind of like that because we all know Superman. So
no, but again, for those in the know, it's really cool, right? That's why, like for me, I didn't mind that at all.
Right.
But if someone tells me what was going on, I get it, and that's a concern because I rather have the general audience like it. I rather have every single nerd, honestly, every single nerd hate this movie with a passion.
And it makes a bunch of money
as long as a casual fan likes it. I really wish that were the case, and I think that's where James Gunn will see. Maybe listen, the audience may love it, and we'll see. Right, money talks at the end of the day. Sure. But listen, getting back to film, listen, I really enjoyed it. I think you're gonna love it. I think you're gonna give it like an A+. I really do.
Oh, that's awesome. I miss seeing an A+ movie. So yeah.
I got a feeling you're gonna say that. I mean, if you come back to me with a similar score, I give it. Okay, I wouldn't be shocked.
Right.
But I think.
But it would then make you recalibrate. What do you think the final
potential? Right. I would say A- for me.
I mean, that's still pretty solid, dude.
Still pretty good, right? Still pretty good. I want an A+, right? Personally, because we talked about it. You and I talked about it.
A+.
But
in life, you never get what you want.
No,
but
of course, I'm not gonna dislike it because it's not an A+, right?
Right.
Obviously, that's expectation. That's our own expectations. That's our fault. It's fun, dude. I'll start with the good stuff. Corn Sweat,
yeah.
Great. A Superman.
Awesome.
He embodies Superman. You're right. It seems about hope and. He's very naive, not the right word, but he's very he appreciates life to such a high degree, right? Which is kind of a departure from the way it seems Zack Snyder, right?
Yeah, a guy who hated being Superman.
Right, it's got and although there's a lot of emotion he shows, but I think that they go through him being more human than Superman, alien, or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
And that's really cool, and it's expressed really well. And I liked him. Lex Luthor. I thought some people were complaining about him. I didn't get it. I love Lex Luthor.
Let me ask you a question. Do you love Gene Hackman as Lex Luthor?
I like Gene Hackman as Lex Luthor. Yeah, I don't say I love it, but I like it.
Do you feel Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor is more in the realm of the Gene Hackman, or is he another type of Lex that you're like, oh, actually, like it's more Michael Rosenbaum or even Kevin Spacey or something like that?
No, Kevin Spacey was. He's a different Lex Luthor. He's more sinister, for sure.
That's cool.
Which I liked. I mean, you really, and this is a good thing. You hate him so much as a character in terms of what he's doing.
Uh-huh.
You're waiting for the comeuppance.
Oh,
right?
that's great.
You know what I'm
A
saying?
villain you love to hate kind
Right,
of deal.
exactly, man. These
Great.
things that he does, and oh my god, I don't want to say too much to spoil it, but yes, I thought he was great.
Great.
Everybody was really good. I mean, Rachel Bronson as Lois Lane
Marvelous
was
Mrs. Maisel,
yeah, yeah,
Lois Lane, yeah.
amazing. She was really good.
Great.
What Crypto has some great scenes. He's a stupid dog, and I liked it. I liked the dog
That's
for that. Very cool. He was good. Let me see what else. The action, some of it's really cool. I'll start with the side characters. The Finian, of course, Green Lantern, Hawk Girl, and Mr. Terrific.
Mr. Terrific, yeah.
Two out of three are, well, one of the three is useless. And I'm gonna let you guess which one it is right
I'm
now.
gonna say Hawk Girl.
Of course, because she's Latina. Of course, she's the useless one. Once again, even James Gunn is not immune to putting us down in such a way. Useless. I mean, this
Hey, that's why
potential
Pedro
there.
Pascal's gonna be the Fantastic Four leader, baby. That's it right
Yeah, an
there.
American,
Big
Richard
brain.
Reed's.
Fixing
Richard Reed's.
everything.
He's been whitewashed. They're all guilty of it. DC's not immune to this either. Gives Blue Beetle. I give him credit for that, but whatever. But she was useless. I mean, it is what it is. She didn't have a whole lot to do, for the most
Sure.
part. There's a couple lines here and there. And
Listen,
so one
when it
interesting
comes
scene.
to a Green Lantern and like the second or third smartest guy in the DC universe, a girl wings is not gonna cut it. Like
It's not gonna cut
between
it.
those two and Superman, yeah.
Yeah, look, Green Lantern, not useless. He was there just for comic relief.
Sure.
He was
I mean,
there for the
it's because
jokes.
that is Guy Gardner. Guy Gardner
Correct.
is the comic relief.
Right, he's a
of
comic
the
relief,
DC
but I can see
Guardians.
why he put.
That's what he does. Yeah.
He put him in there because he can't have Superman yucking it up. Which
Right. He's a lovable a-hole. That's
yes,
who. That's
and
who
he came
Guy
out.
Gardner
He
is.
came out fine. Didn't get a lot of screen time. He was fine. Mr. Terrific was the one that really stood out.
Really? Okay.
Not in terms of the character, but what he does in the movie. He has a really big part in the film. A lot more than I thought it was.
Do you feel like everybody who felt bad that he died too fast as Darwin in X-Men First Class is like vindication through Mr. Terrific?
I think it's vindication.
Okay.
They didn't do good of showing who he is, what he's about. Again, you're thrown into his world, so it's hard to
Right.
relate to him. So I'm talking more about what he does in terms of the plot of the film, how he's used.
Okay.
And he has one really great little action sequence that it was just. All I kept thinking about was Yondu in the first Guardians.
That's cool.
Okay.
Okay.
It was very cool, and you know what scene I'm talking about.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
But it's a very cool. Oh, that was cool. Like that, he had a lot to chew on. Nobody else. The other ones, they were just kind of there. You really probably could take him out of the movie, to be honest with you, and just
How
have
about
Terrific.
Metamorpho?
I don't know. Strange character, and I'm sure that's the way he is in the comic books,
Yes,
and that's
very much so. Yeah.
right. But again, those who are unfamiliar with it, because a lot of people who really liked the film, like they didn't like that character.
Really?
Um,
Okay.
I was like, okay, it was weird. Okay, it's James Gunn, so there's a lot of weirdness in here.
Sure.
As a James Gunn fan, I like it, but it's not for everybody. And he's one of the characters that I think was okay. And there was something with the baby, and just like it looked ridiculous. Whatever. That second act was kind of weird. It really was.
Okay. Okay.
And it took a little bit to kind of get into the movie because it just starts off like, here we go, right?
Right.
And the first scene is. If I forget what the first scene is, that a spoiler?
I believe it's not, because he revealed the first scene is the interview between Lois and Clark, right?
No. That's early on, but it's not the first scene of the film.
Okay. Semi spoilers, guys.
It's the beginning of the
context of the first scene.
Yeah, it's the beginning of the movie. They've already shown this scene extensively.
Okay.
So, it starts with the scene where he falls down and the dog is jumping all over.
Yes, they did say that is the very first scene. Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure, but that's so it opens up like, boom, here we go.
All right.
Some stuff that talks about, not Star Wars-esque, but there's narrative reading on there. 30 years ago this, 3 years ago this, 3 weeks ago, and then 3 hours ago this. And it's
so three.
Yeah, and this is where we're at, right? I don't know if the 3 significant or number 3 in Superman. I don't know. But whatever. And then boom, you're off to the races. So it was kind of, okay, this is how we're going to start. Okay, interesting. But listen, CGI is all over the place, though. I'll be honest. And
really?
I've seen that complaint from a lot of reviewers. CGI wasn't great. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. And at times you're like, whatever. That doesn't kill things for me, as long as it's not it's
Now,
just
do you say
part of
it's
it.
not great because it didn't look real, or maybe it's
It
because it was an artistic choice of certain things looking
No,
cartoony?
it didn't look real, a little cartoony at times. Think Flash at times,
Okay,
maybe.
okay,
You know,
okay.
at times I had problems with the CGI
Well,
too.
Flash the movie or Flash the TV series?
No, the movie.
Oh, but not as bad as the babies, right?
No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
yeah, no, nothing that. I just scenes here and there. I mean, it's not again. It's a small thing. That's a small thing. That
All
doesn't
right.
really bother me as long as it's. If I say half the movie was the CGI was terrible, that's a problem,
Then
right?
yeah, that'll be a problem. Sure.
It's not a problem for me. But it's listen, a lot of CGI in here. It's hard to get it all right.
Right.
Let's just call it what it is. What else really worked here? Third act was really good.
That's
I
great.
thought I done it really well after a wonky
We
start.
we've often said third acts can make or break a movie. Look at Eternals. Eternals third act was
Yeah,
great.
correct.
It
Shang-Chi is
the,
another one.
the
It
yeah,
kind of
it broke the movie. Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah.
agree.
It
Yeah,
should have been great and it wasn't. So the third act was really good.
yeah,
Um, I like they closed thing off, and there's a lot that the humor works, not all the time. And that's one of the negatives too. Is sometimes James Gunn he goes a little overboard with the humor sometimes, and it
sure.
kind of has a habit of undermining the scene or the emotion of his scenes at times, and it's happened a couple of times. You gotta let things marinate a little bit, right? I
So
think
is it? It's sort of like the Marvel problem where they're too quippy and they don't let a moment
yeah,
like
like even
really
like
kind
in
of land.
Guardians 2 when Yondu died, it's like the next second they're just yucking it up. It's not the Apollo. It's like can we let his death kind of just weigh in a little bit, right? So yeah,
Okay,
Chris
okay,
Rock's
okay.
coming out, he's telling jokes. Calm down. But he has a habit of doing that sometimes. It worked in Suicide Squad because that was a ridiculous movie,
Right.
right? It's meant to be that way.
Sure.
But I'll give you a prime example, not a spoiler, but I'll just keep it very vague. He's having a Superman conversation with Lois, not that scene you mentioned with the interview. That's
All right.
and it's an interesting, it's good conversation, but there's something going on in the background, and it's kind of funny, but it's a serious conversation, something funny in the background. It kind of undercuts what's really going on in that scene.
Is it? Are the thing you're talking about that what we see in the trailers with the giant purple eye thing is attacking
I'm
the
not sure
city?
what they're showing in the trailers, but that's the scene. Yes.
Okay. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's been in the trailers a lot. The
Okay.
giant purple thing attacking the city in the
Fair
background,
enough.
or they're being like
Correct.
romantic or caring towards each other.
Yeah, and it was an odd choice. I'm like that doesn't work, right? It's a good scene. It would have been a really good scene without that. You
Okay.
take that off, and it was kind of counterproductive to the character of Superman because they did a really good job. With this guy wants to save everybody, no matter what, and anything. He goes out of his way to save a squirrel.
Yeah, that's
A
very
squirrel,
Superman. Right.
right? Exactly. And this conversation is going on, and there's a battle going on, and he doesn't give a shit. It's
It,
odd.
is it he doesn't give a shit, or he knows it's just generally property damage, and whoever is there buffering it has it for a certain amount of time?
He could have it, but it's just his when you see
Or
the
is it a situation where like it could be, but then again, it's all headcanon and it's not actually
could it be? I mean, listen, he's it was being handled potentially,
right?
but no one's Superman,
Right.
right? And when you
Right.
go
Fair.
away and you show him saving these people individually during big battles and fights, whatever, saving it, who cares about the score? That was a bit much, but whatever. He saves a score, and that's who he is, and that's great. That's
Listen,
Superman.
Christopher Reeve
Yeah.
saved the cat, squirrel. It's going to be in a
But listen,
tree.
it's a I get and it's great for the character, but then to undercut that scene itself and then not having go out there and make sure no one is in danger when that's
Right.
all he treated, it was kind of odd. Right?
Okay.
It made that scene even worse. I'm like, okay, that's okay, fair enough. But things like that kept popping up. There's a lot of characters in here,
That's what I heard. It's a
and
lot of characters.
it's a lot. Lots of going on, and I think they're cool. There's two ways this can work. A lot of characters that don't work. Spider-Man 3 as an example, or
Yes.
the Amazing Spider-Man, right? Those are you have too much, it doesn't work. The characters work here, but the problem is everything comes at a cost, right? The more you have, the less time you have to spend with Superman or
Right.
Lois. Lois has a good start, but then she kind of gets sidelined. She has a couple of
Okay.
things here and there, but whatever. She gets sidelined. Their relationship is not really touched on,
Do you
right?
think the reason why they have so many characters is even though this is the first DC movie coming out, DCU movie coming out, there was a concern of like, can Superman still carry a movie? So if we put a lot of the characters, it's always sort of in flux. So you're always
Maybe,
happy to see Superman, but he doesn't overstay his welcome.
maybe I don't know. Maybe a lot was cut. I don't know,
Right.
but you know, and it's it's not like they replaced what I think it's missing with nonsense, right?
Right.
It was terrific. That's some of the stuff did work.
Right.
But again, it's a 2 hour 9 minute movie. It's not extremely long, right? But there's no real scenes with Lois and Superman together for the most part. Clark Kent is you see him maybe in one scene. It's 90%
Oh,
Superman, 10% Clark Kent,
oh,
right?
okay. All right.
Which is an interesting choice. It didn't make the movie bad, but I'm saying it would be cool to see more Clark Kent. Listen, this guy has his dual identity is important to him, right?
Sure.
Just like Bruce Wayne, you can't have just Batman the whole time. It doesn't work,
But I will say,
you know.
as I told you, you sort of agreed. Since this movie felt like a sequel to a first movie we never saw, most sequels do suffer from now that we were established the identity, the man part. Let's focus on the super on the sequel, and they just sort of fast track to that super, and then the next one is when they sort of merge the halves together.
Perhaps we cool because this is his introduction, and I think I would have been okay with no Clark if the beginning relationship with Lois started in this film. Like
Okay, I see what you're saying.
that interview scene would have been better if she had not known who he was. Like she was actually interviewing Superman and she had no idea
Like
who Clark
grilling
Kent
him,
was.
right? Yeah. Okay.
Right. I think that would have been that would have made sense and then kind of build that relationship towards the end of the film.
Okay.
They're like they almost broke up in the beginning of the movie. It's just like we're here already at this point.
Right.
So you don't get to see that connection, that
Sure.
development. Why does he care so much? Because we're just thrown into this world,
But
right?
to be fair,
For better or worse, for better or
right.
worse,
To
right?
be fair, I feel
Yeah.
like Superman is a lot like James Bond. Like we all sort of know who he is and the
Sure.
general tropes, so we could just kind of go in because we
Absolutely.
know the plots.
No, of course, but you want that relationship important. That's a big thing in
Sure.
Superman, right?
Sure.
So it should be done. I think more time should be dedicated to that. He's not huge gripes, but there are gripes. This is why he's not an A plus at the end of the
Right.
day, right?
Right. Okay.
I mean, so it's like,
Sure.
listen, if all that worked, this will be an A plus. But it's really good. It's fun as hell, man. The soundtrack actually is pretty good.
All right. Big
The
question then.
uh-huh.
Did I win the gentleman's bet?
What was Gentleman's Bet again?
Maybe I shouldn't even say it. I'm scared.
Oh,
Was in the movie the
spoiler?
soundtrack was born in the USA or living in
Oh,
America?
no, dude, no.
No?
No,
Oh,
at all.
boo!
Yeah,
Ah!
he didn't have a whole lot of original song, a couple here and there, but wasn't many. It wasn't many.
So not a lot of needle drops.
No, a couple like one towards the end, and one here and there, but it wasn't like Guardians, right? But
Right.
just choices he made with some of the regular songs, as far as the soundtrack, the score is what I meant was really good. The soundtrack, was obscure songs. I knew one. I was like, oh, but it's not something you would know. It's like Guardians.
Right.
A lot of songs that people just don't have on top of their head.
Sure.
But the score itself is really well done. You have
Oh, that's
little
good.
glimpse of John Williams in there, especially the third act that came out really. That
Yeah,
was cool.
you got it.
I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, that was cool. It get you hyped. And yeah, okay, you're all in at that point. But listen, super fun. James Gunn knows what he's doing, obviously. Again, just some odd things here and there. And there's one character who's, the trailer had like the kid raising the flag, whatever.
Yes. Yes.
I guess it's a war between these two countries, which is kind of the catalyst for everything that's going on.
Right.
The war that he stops in the interview he's talking about. The president of one of those countries, the weirdest character, and he's so out of place. It's classic James Gunn kind of thing. But didn't
Okay.
quite fit in this film. It was
Okay.
weird. It was kind of odd. There's a lot of odd little things here and there. And listen, it's a big film. It's convoluted. It's got a lot of stuff going. It's very cosmic,
Okay.
for better or worse. A lot of
So,
portals, dimensions, and all this stuff going. And again, this information is not earned by anybody. It's just there.
just there, which is very comic booky. It's just there. So,
It really is. It's for you and I, it's not a big deal. We
Right.
get it, right? But a lot of people may be like, okay, what the hell's going on here?
Right.
So it's got a lot in this film. It's got a lot.
Jose, that is why people watch our show, Nerdsplaining, to figure out what all this is. And
Of
so,
course.
if you have questions, you tune into us and we explain.
We'll break it
That's-
down. Once you see it, we get spoiler. We can get into
Sure,
some of that
absolutely.
stuff.
And I'm
right?
going to see it. I'm going to see it this weekend. So we
Of
will
course, you're
talk
gonna watch
about
it
it.
this weekend. Of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think you really. I mean, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. A lot
So-
of fun. It's not. It's imperfect. Fair enough.
But
right?
listen, A minus
because
is solid.
that's a really good score, right? And I've heard
Yeah.
people say the greatest superhero film. Calm the fuck down. Come on. But it's like, dude, can we just relax?
Listen,
you want to say it's
if
the
it-
best Superman? That's a discussion.
Right. That's
Fine.
it. Listen,
Right.
we all know it's somewhere between Dark Knight and Endgame. That's just facts, guys. I can't fight it. It's just one of those things. So just understand.
Yeah, Superman's in that level, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? You can't be at the top. And when it
No,
comes out, it's the next greatest thing. It's
exactly,
not.
exactly.
It's, but let's not let's
We
not
have to stop
exaggerate
saying
either.
best superhero movie ever and just say what a really great movie. That's all it is. It's a
Exactly,
really
and I realize
great
people
movie.
would choose the words carefully because it sets wrong expectations that
It
way,
really
right?
does.
I mean, come on, really, let relax. I mean, listen, it's a lot of, it's an argument that I don't think it's consensus. First of all, and this movie's really good. It's just not that, and that's
Right.
okay.
And that's okay too. It doesn't.
It's
Nothing
okay.
has
It's
to
fine.
break the brain
Of
every time.
course, of course. I mean, everyone, can we just be entertained and leave it at that,
Right.
right? Well,
Yeah.
good. I mean, you want it to be great, of course you do.
Think about it. Even in Gladiator, he asked, "Are you not entertained?" He did
That's
the
what I'm saying.
greatest gladiator battle
He's
ever
beheading
with that
people left
statue.
and right, and it was not enough. So listen, yeah, but listen, I walk into it hoping that it is the greatest superhero movie
Sure.
ever, but realistically, probably not. Right?
Right.
Odds are it won't be, but that's okay. So people, you hear that nonsense, stop, please. It's annoying as hell, man. It really is. And it's, I don't think. I'm surprised. I told the one person who I personally knew hated it. I'm shocked that they hated it. Honestly, I can see someone say they don't like it, and I've seen reviews that don't like it. Fair, fine, but to hate it's a strong word.
Yeah.
It really is.
It was that person a Snyder bro? Was that person like Zack Snyder should have been there?
She's not even a nurse. She's just, she likes movies, but whatever. She's not like a comic book geek, so she's
Oh
not
wait,
into that thing.
is she that security guard that gives you the sneak peeks? Is that what you're talking about?
No. It's just
Oh,
someone, a security guy I talked to.
right.
The security work, all these things, there's different kinds, but I knew them
Yeah.
and whatever. I just asked to ask and whatever because they had seen
All
it
right.
before. But there's no affiliation. There's no. It's just she hated. Okay, fair enough. Whatever. Okay.
Everyone's different.
Okay.
A couple of quick questions because I know
Sure,
we
sure.
can't. Because there's only
Yeah.
so much you can say while dancing
Of
around
course.
everything. A couple of quick questions. After credit scenes, yes, no, and how many?
Oh, okay. So there's 1.5. They're a waste of time.
Really?
Unfortunately, they're a waste of time. Yeah, I no, and the theater was like they hear like a collective grunt, from the people there, and and these are like people who stuck around with the Superman shirts, and even they weren't into it. The first one is like it's a quick little like you blink and you miss it.
Okay.
The second one is more kind of interaction with Superman or the character, and it's a jokey kind of scene, but it just we waited 10 minutes for that. I was kind of like, oh god.
Okay. Okay.
Like if you have to go. You're not missing any. There's no setup for whatever. None of that. They're not showing this big bad on next film. Nothing like that at all.
Okay. Okay.
On that note, there are 2 cameos in this movie though.
All right. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. I
yeah.
know one of the cameos because they talked about it. I don't believe this is
Is it
not
out
a
there?
spoiler. It's
Okay.
Supergirl. Supergirl's in this movie, right?
Yes, she does come out in
Yes.
the film. Yes.
Right.
And,
I've heard about that already. That's like they've been in for months.
Okay, I that was rumored, but I wasn't sure if it was.
Right.
I don't know, but what if it's spoiler? Sorry, but she's in it. Yeah, interesting take on that character, and we'll talk about that because I'm a little bit concerned about what that means in the future. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I'm just like, okay, what does this mean?
I think it might be your concern might be is that she is coming off very modern comic book accurate and not your
No.
son. No.
No, not at all. I mean, I'm not too familiar with Supergirl, to be honest with you.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
So no, it's hard. I don't want to say because I don't want to ruin the scene.
Yeah,
either, so
I
I'll
get
leave it
it,
at
I
that.
get it,
But
I
yeah,
get it. So
the other one is really cool. It's like, oh, it's. I'll leave it silent. I don't want to say what it is.
Yeah. That's what I gotta say.
Yeah, but quickly, those really the cameos worked. It really worked.
All right. Last question.
Mhm.
I think it's the question every nerd is wondering right now. We're gonna talk about the Ultraman of it all.
Okay.
Okay, that smile, fantastic. Real general, was Ultraman cool? Did he work into the context of the movie? Because from what it looks like, he's the muscle big bad of the movie.
Basically, he's the odd job of the movie.
Right.
Right. That's the role. I'm not familiar with how Ultraman is in the comic, so I don't know.
Oh, okay.
What he is and whatever, but if he's more than that, and you want to have more than that, you'll be disappointed if that's
Okay.
what you're looking forward to. But just take it for what it is. It works, and he's listen. You need someone to go up against Superman at the end of the day. Lex Luthor's not going to do it, right? He's not. But I like how Lex Luthor incorporated him, how he, I'll say, interacts with Ultraman to combat Superman. That was interesting and cool. I like that.
Okay.
And why Ultraman was so important in a couple of scenes in the film, so that worked, right? But again, he's Is he silent? Yeah, he's pretty much
Yeah,
out
because
there, huh?
I'll
Yeah,
be very honest.
yeah.
The Ultraman that most comic fans know is he's from Earth 2. He's like an
Okay.
evil Superman, and he leads the crime syndicate, and like to the
Huh.
point that in this Ultraman in Earth 2, he snorts kryptonite like cocaine. Like that is like how like yeah,
Interesting.
yeah, exactly, because his power works
Hmm.
differently. And so when I saw him with the mask, I'm like, I think this is Ultraman by name only, and they might be doing a take on something. But I once again, we're not getting
It
spoilers.
sounds like it's a take. It's nothing like what you just
It's
tell
by
me
name
anyway.
only. It's by name
Yeah,
only, kind of.
correct,
Okay,
correct. Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah.
fine.
So,
That's
I
fine.
mean, like
Yeah,
I said, I had no affiliation, nothing invested, so I was fine with what they gave. I was like, oh, that's
sure.
cool. Okay, cool. But like I said, some cool fights. It's like fight scenes. The action is really cool. A lot of shit works here. It really does. It's James Gunn, dude. I don't think
Right,
you and I even said we think it was gonna be good.
right.
Just how good, you know, I don't know. My
Time will
answer,
tell.
your answer, right? And I think you are gonna really, like, really get into it. I really are.
And
Yeah,
I'm really excited because
you should
not
be.
only I
You
want to
should
see,
be.
it, but I want to see how my kids read it, because my kids are sort of like my barometer of like what's the thing, and
I
if
think
there's a
kids.
saving grace of it all. So
Yeah.
I want to
I,
see that whole
I think
experience.
kids should like. I mean, Superman for Christ's sake. He's flying around, kicking.
Oh well, you gotta remember, if you're too
I mean,
happy, kids will be like, it's such a
well,
lame.
but
But
you got a point there. I mean, he is more old school Superman. I
right,
mean,
but
I,
I like you said, in the way the world is right now, we could use a little hope. We could use a
that's what
little
I'm
old
saying. Yeah,
fashioned. So
and I think this. It's funny because I use hot girl as an example. They use her as more to support how good Superman is, and that's kind of cryptic. But you see the scene, you're like, oh, that makes sense, right?
right,
Because not everybody is Superman,
right.
right? And they really do a good job of making him stand out beyond the other heroes in this world, which is what
Which
you
is
want,
always sort of like it
you
so
know.
basically it's in comics, you call it a power leveler. Like, you introduce this character who's like super powerful, and this other character knocks him out, and it's just established that's how powerful this guy is because he knocked out that guy. And
Yeah, and
so
this
you know
is
what I
one
mean?
of those like how good he. I mean, they did a good job of showing how good he was, but it's a scene towards the end. I was like, oh, that makes sense, right? Excuse me. Which
Power
is why
scale,
that
yeah,
other
wherever.
scene with the mushroom in the back, whatever it was, jellyfish.
Right.
Which why that scene was kind of just weird. That's like it didn't fit with the character Superman for me anyway. You may have a different take on it, but I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. But listen, it's very fun overall. Listen, a lot of people, the nerds loved it. I'm not shocked.
Sure.
A lot of the casuals I spoke to, it was more mixed reactions, more lean towards the positive though, but a lot of questions and all that stuff. So it's, you know, confusion, a lot of stuff going on with stuff that I heard. Um, Not enough for this, not enough for that. Superman this. Some people don't like Lex Luthor. And any reviews have not liked Lex Luthor. So, not all of them, but some of them.
That's okay.
I think a lot that do, but I'm saying that has come out.
Right.
For the most part, they seem to like it, not love it. So, concerning. Not everybody. Some did love it. Some didn't like it.
Right.
I'm doing like an
Yeah.
average of what I heard, right? So I think it was more down the middle with those who aren't familiar, who aren't the nerds.
Right.
And a couple people who it's funny. I got a couple people I talked to whose opinions I trust. It's funny. Everyone's opinions are all over the place because one guy he's like, man, he loved the first two acts and he hated the third. I was the opposite. I didn't
Okay.
hate the first two acts, but I was high in the third act than the
Right.
second, first and second. And a couple people agree with me. One guy, because he's a big nerd, he's a James movie cinephile, whatever. He likes James Gunn. He's like, I was like, well, rank this James Gunn film, and he's like, he said it's not as good as the Suicide Squad, and I was like, I really disagree with that. I think this is way better than Suicide Squad, and I like Suicide Squad a lot.
Okay.
But he also thinks the Suicide Squad is better than all three Guardians,
That's crazy.
which is
That's
ridiculous. I'm
right.
like, dude, stop. And
At
just
first when you
saying.
said that, I was like, "What's that comparing apples and oranges?" But then he thinks it's better than all three Guardians. They're like, "Then you're insane.
It's
You're
insane.
insane."
It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. First of all, I don't think this is better than Suicide Squad. It's better than Guardians 2. It's not better than First Guardians. First Guardians is really such a great film.
It
It
really
really
is.
is. It
It's
really
super
is.
tight. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And this is where there's a difference between that one and this one, right?
Okay.
In terms of just the writing of the film, how tight it is, because it's a lot, man.
Yeah.
That was the concern. A lot of people's concern is that, and that is a true concern. How much it
Okay.
bothers you, that really depends on your taste.
On your personal
Right,
metric,
and how
whatever that
much
is.
you
Yeah.
really enjoy what's going on around it. I thought they did a really good job. They did a good job establishing Superman. The only thing I have moving forward is that James Gunn's not directing all these films.
Well, that would be interesting.
So,
All right.
right, if he is great, but he's not. So
Right.
this tone and thing that he said here, you can't duplicate that,
Yeah.
right?
James Gunn is very James Gunn.
He's
You know,
just very
like
James Gunn. Like, there's a lot of directors who are very particular, right?
right.
Scorsese. You can try, it ain't gonna work. Tarantino, you can try, it doesn't work. Nolan, you can definitely try, it's not gonna work. These are different, distinct styles that work for them.
Right.
And when he sets it up, someone takes over. How glaring would that difference be? What tone was this going to? That's what it's. I don't know. This tone is so James Gunn. You can write it like that,
Do
but
you
are you
think
going to
James
direct it
Gunn
like
will
that?
write it but hand off directing to somebody else?
I don't know. That's unconfirmed. But even like all these other films, I mean, the Batman doesn't count because that's Matt Reeves and that's a different universe. But
Right.
is Batman gonna be like this? Because it is silly and goofy at times. It is, right, on purpose. It is,
Right.
and I just can't see Batman being silly and goofy.
Well, not to that extent. Like Batman, you can have a fun Batman without
You
being
have fun,
goofy. Right.
right? But this movie is silly in a positive way. It's silly, it's goofy at times, very cosmic, it's different, and that's a certain tone. That tone just doesn't quite fit with Batman.
Okay. Oh yeah, clearly.
Obviously, right? It's not. We don't see Batman yucking it up. We definitely don't
No,
want to see that
no,
either, right?
no.
It's
But
like Batman working.
contrary to popular belief, I'm one of the first people to say I never want to see Batman yucking it up. But I wouldn't mind seeing Batman smirk or like say like a
Sure.
comment under his breath.
Of
Like I
course.
think you could make
Yeah.
a Batman because that's what
You
Michael
could,
Keaton did.
for
Michael
sure.
Keaton smirked. So you
For
can do a
sure. Yeah.
Batman that's more Michael Keaton and less Christopher Nolan and still be a good Batman.
But
Don't
even
that's the
Christian
thing
Bale at
people
times
forget
was
sometimes.
saying things more when he was Bruce Wayne than he was Batman.
Right.
And you can use Bruce Wayne that, but I don't want a goofy Bruce Wayne either.
Right.
Yeah, like you're
Like
making a nerd on purpose.
I think Michael Keaton is the extent of my goofy Bruce Wayne and my goofy Batman. Like Michael Keaton,
100%. Yeah, you
that
want to go.
range is what I
You want to
want.
get past that. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm kind of curious what this DC world moves forward. I don't know. Some of his characters, Miss Terrific, I want to see again, and even
Guy Gardner.
Garner, cool hot girl, whatever.
Boy,
I'm sure. I'm
apparently we're
sure.
gonna see them
She's a cool character there. It's just she was just underused. It is what it is.
well, apparently we're going to see them in season 2 of Peacemaker. So.
I mean, I'm sure, but like one scene.
Yeah,
Whatever,
but we're going to
yeah.
get us what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
take
she
what
may
you
talk.
got, right?
She may speak more in that movie than in that show.
Maybe.
It's Latina, so maybe they might cut her from the whole thing. You're gonna see the show, and it's just Guy Gardner and it's an empty seat where Hot Girl was and something. Oh, she went to get coffee. She went to pick coffee beans over down there in Colombia. Just saying, she got deported. Hello, bam, bam, bam. Come on, we have to throw it in there. Come on.
Horrible.
But I've been curious what happens from them forward. I think what Supergirl is going to be pretty important. I think they gotta follow this up. I hope people like this. I think they will. Journey, but they really need to follow up strong with Supergirl. Like I said, one movie doesn't make a difference, right?
For all intents and purposes, from what I've heard, the Supergirl will be not a very different tone, but a different tone. It'll be a little bit more skewed to like her type of, because especially for Superwoman, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, that book is it's almost the opposite of goofy. It's almost deep operatic, like space opera kind of stuff.
Right,
so,
and that's where it's like, okay, because Marvel for the most part, success early on particularly was they had a similar tone throughout the films.
Right.
The films weren't exactly the same, but they had the same tone, same look.
Right.
Is that going to happen here? I don't know. We'll see. I think Supergirl will let us know.
From what I heard, James Gunn says there's not going to be a uniform house style. So each project will have their own style, but be in the same world, but be a very different tone and style based on the project, not the universe. So I think that's kind of cool.
That could be interesting. We'll see what the audience thinks about that, though, right? Because you get so used to it. Everyone's used to this, and it's like, okay, you start messing with that formula. Does it work? And you bring them all together. Whose tone are you gonna use, right? You take a serious character, put him in James Gunn. It's silly. Vice versa.
I will tell you, Jose, the one that makes the most money. That's the tone they use.
You may be right. Well, right now, I don't see Supergirl making more money than this. Supergirl will make that much money in comparison to Superman. I don't think so. Like Superman is a bigger draw.
Absolutely. Name recognition alone.
Right. Let's call it what it is. Right. So that hopefully it makes money.
Right.
I mean, I don't know what's gonna open at this guy. If it doesn't do better than Jurassic Park, I'll be disappointed, to be honest with you.
That would be a bummer. That would be a
That would
bummer.
be a bummer. I mean, Jurassic Park's a juggernaut, and I get it, but that movie fucking sucks. Sorry, it's just dog shit. People love dinosaurs, and I love them too. But come on, man. Come on. Really?
Sorry, Dinosaur Blade. It's not working.
It's just, I don't understand. The consensus, the last couple suck, and people still go see it. I don't understand. And yet,
I don't get it either. The fact that the last, not this one, the one before this one made like $1 billion blows
it's crazy.
my mind.
It's crazy. And the movie before that wasn't good either. I don't understand. And these other movies, which are even like Thunderbolts, I didn't love it, but that was solid.
That was
It's losing money. It's like, oh, okay.
I don't get it.
It's weird. And I'm really concerned about Fantastic Four in terms of money wise. And if these two movies don't do well,
there's a problem.
I think we can have a serious conversation that there is superhero fatigue.
Yes, and we want to change the tone of this podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck. All right, we gotta talk about something else. Because because that's been fatigue has been the people have been talking about that for years, and it's been bullshit, right?
Sure.
Maybe it's credence to it. Maybe we don't know yet. We need more.
Right. But
more sample sizes, a bigger sample size.
Will give us the clearest view of like what.
Like this one doesn't. Yeah, this one doesn't do great, and Fantastic Four doesn't open up, and it can open up fine, but.
Does have the legs to keep going for at least 2 weeks.
Thunderbolts opened decent, but it didn't have any legs.
Right.
Let's see what these two do or don't. I think that tells us,
right,
okay, the fatigue is legit.
Yes.
And that's kind of a problem, man, for us.
Yeah, I know.
Studios are like, well, I'm not putting in $220, $25 million in this when I know I'm not getting return.
Yeah, if I'm only going to make $480 million back, then what am I doing? Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. You're losing money, or you're barely making what's not worth the risk. Yeah. So yeah, it's interesting. So listen, I'm kind of curious to get your thoughts when you finally see it. We'll do a show next week, a spoiler review early next week, and break it down. I have some questions for you once you see it, so I can kind of talk spoiler about it. But definitely go watch Superman. It's a high recommendation for sure. IMAX, whatever screen, biggest screen you can find. I think most people are gonna enjoy it. I do. I mean, I love it. I think they're gonna enjoy it. I really do. I think it sets Superman right. Because what everybody complained about before is the opposite. If you don't like to see that, I don't know what to tell you then. I don't know what to tell you. Then you don't like Superman. So you don't want him this way. You don't want him that way. There's no other options. Door number one, door number two. You don't like out your door, stay where you're at and don't watch Superman again. I don't know what to tell you. It is what it is. Because this is quite the opposite from what we got from Zack Snyder. So if you're a Zack Snyder fan, don't watch it. Because you're going to hate it. I'm telling you right now. If you're all into that, man, Zack Snyder, you pray at the altar of Snyder, then don't watch this movie.
Go watch Rebel Moon. You deserve
Go watch
it.
Rebel
That's
Moon.
what you deserve.
Go
you
watch that shit. That. And go on Netflix and watch it for free 1,000 times because you don't deserve to watch this, and you're probably not gonna enjoy it. Other than that, I think you're gonna enjoy it, man. I'm curious to see what you think. I'm expecting an A+ from you. I really am.
All right.
Like, if you got anything less than A+, I won't be shocked. But if you come with a B, I'll be like, God damn, wow.
Yeah, okay. then the fatigue is real.
Then there's Eric fatigue. There's Eric fatigue. We're all doomed at this point.
All doomed. Give up now. No hope.
It's done. I'm moving. It's always to go to Ukraine or something. I don't know. But either way, so we'll see you guys, of course, next week. Eric, back to you, of course.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And that's it. No other news. Just go watch Superman and let us know what you think. And by the way, thank you for checking us out. Don't forget, you can go to ericdasilva.com, pick up my album, Durably Offensive. You can go to dangersquad.com, check out my comic book, Danger Squad. Digital copies are available for purchase, only $6.99. I appreciate the help you guys get as well. So watch Superman, buy the comic, check out my album, and tune in next week for us for more nerd stuff and the big reveals, all the spoilers, and let us know what you think about it as well. Once again, my name is Eric Da Silva. This is Jose Romero. We have been Nerdsplaining. And if you don't know, now you know. Boom.